What if your connection to the spirit world was closer than you think? What if your unique way of seeing the world is the key to connecting the two worlds? Welcome to a Sanctuary for the Soul podcast. Join us as we delve into the heart of spiritual development, from the practical guidance and mediumship to the best way to live a heart-based life.
We are here to facilitate healing, awaken your intuition, and help you navigate your path with confidence. Speaking from our own deep journeys, we've learned to experience the world and the spirit world with a unique sensitivity. This is our space to share that perspective with you. Let's explore the connection together.
Good day to you, Liz.
Hi, good day to you, Andrew.
And welcome to another day on planet Earth. So how has another day on planet Earth been for you, Liz? Tell me, Liz, tell me.
Yeah, so I managed to do admin today, which is not
Boring.
yes, boring. Not
Boring.
one of my main skills, but
Okay.
yeah, I've done quite a lot today, so I feel proud.
You
What
feel
about
proud
you?
for doing that? Yes. What about me? I got cold today, mainly because it's cold outside, and I was outside as well. So the two things combined to make me cold. So it's just like a day of being cold, and it was cloudy. Like the sun was so cold that it just couldn't be bothered to get up. It couldn't. It's like someone put the outside and put it into a freezer and then put me in it. Well, you did ask.
Yeah. Well,
It's always dodgy to ask me a question and expect a normal answer.
I suppose the benefit is that you're out in the natural world a lot.
Yes. Yes, I am out in nature. Like a bald Chris Packham. Minus all the knowledge and like wisdom and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I guess I was out in nature.
So when you
Yes.
think about the benefit of hindsight.
Oh my goodness. Hindsight. So sight that is behind me.
Yeah.
Okay, sight is behind me. Right. Okay. Right. Yep.
So why do people say that?
I don't know what you've said.
The benefit of hindsight.
The benefit of hindsight is like having, it's like being able to make a decision based upon stuff that hasn't yet happened.
Yeah.
That don't make sense, does it?
No, because it's actually an impossibility, isn't it?
Yes. You know what else is an impossibility?
Oh.
A cow jumping over the moon.
I think there's possibility.
No, there is no cow that is strong enough and springy enough to jump over the moon.
But this is my point. So the benefit of hindsight,
Right.
when we're making choices or
Yes.
desiring change in our lives,
Yes.
we wish we knew what was going to happen or what certain choices would lead to.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you look at it from the point of view that we want to make life choices, knowing that beyond all reasonable doubt they're going to succeed. In a perfect world, that is what we want, don't we? Because do we want to suffer? Do we want to experience failure? No. What we want is for a Harry Potter-like wand to be waved, for us to know that all things are going to be okay. And lo and behold, everything's okay. Only life's not quite that simple, is it?
So in a way, instead of the idea of the benefit hindsight
Yeah,
and, the risk and fear of creating change,
yeah.
maybe it's that we need to have a shift in mindset. And I'm just thinking about maybe one of two things. Maybe the first shift in mindset needs to be the idea that we are creating to a degree how things unfold through every choice
Mhm.
and how we perceive things. And maybe the other shift in our mindset needs to be that no matter what happens, we'll be able to um, find a way to overcome it or through it. And maybe that would reduce this need to know or this fear of not knowing.
I understood the first bit, the second bit went right over my head.
Yeah.
Um, are we talking
So
about
the
manifesting?
oh, I'm not keen on that word.
Why do you think I said it?
To wind me up.
Let's talk about manifestation.
No, let's talk
Ah,
about creating the life that you want to lead.
yeah. Okay.
So what allows you when you're making a change or you're taking a risk in some way,
Yeah.
what eases the fear for you?
Good question. Um, I think it all depends on what it is we're trying to achieve. Whether it is something that is similar to what we've already experienced, so that the difference in what we want to achieve isn't so vast that there are many variables that mean we just can't be sure and
Oh,
therefore confident in the outcome.
mm,
So say for example, let's say I work with, spirit guides and working in an altered state. So let's use this as an example. Let's say I was used to always having my, spirit guide, you know, Bob. He was always the guy, and I recognized his energy, and I knew that I was safe with him, and we had a great merry old time. And let's say that's been like that for 20 years. And then Bob says to me one day, "Well, the next time that you do trance or something like that, um, I'm not going to be there. There'll be someone different." And immediately that fear response kicks in because immediately he's given me no reason to know what's going to happen. I feel a sense of apprehension and a sense of doubt and a sense of, no, I don't want to experience that because you are offering me something that I can't contextualize. You're saying to me something is going to happen that I have no experience of. So therefore, I don't know if I can trust it. I don't know if I will love it. I don't know if everything will be good. I I'm having to try and trust in something I've never experienced. And that is putting doubt, fear, and uncertainty in my mind. So then I say, no, I'm not doing it. And then he comes back to me and he says, well, firstly, there's no option. You've got to. Okay. He said, I'm going away on holiday. I won't be here for a month. I'm going away for a good long break because I need it. And so I go, well, okay, that's fine. And he says, well, all you've got to remember is that it's still another consciousness that's working with you. The new guide, Horace, the new guide is called Horace, and he is different to me. He's more eccentric, and you'll really like him. And I think, well, actually, that sounds like me. And so
yeah.
maybe you're right. Maybe this actually won't be so bad. And he says, actually, you'll really get on with him because his humour is very similar to yours. And I think there'll be this sense of acceptance, and you'll enjoy it. And so, lo and behold, the next time I connect to Horace, we have a whale of a time. Where did that ever come from? Where did that saying come from? We had a whale of a time. No whales were harmed in the making of what I'm saying. And so we had this great time, and then Bob comes back from his holiday, and he's looking very tanned. I mean, even though it's a spirit holiday, so it's a spirit because it's a spirit holiday. He got a spirit tan. Anyway, so he's looking rather brown, and I feel quite jealous actually. So because of this, because of his spirit tan and his spirit holiday, and he says, "How have you been? How was Horace?" And I go, "Well, it's funny you should say. It was a wonderful time. We talked about many wonderful things, and we had actually a whale of a time." And he says, "You didn't hurt any whales, did you?" I said, "Well, no, we didn't. No whales were hurt in the making of what I'm saying." So he said, "Well, that's really good. So it's a good story. I like this." And so it's one of my favorites. So he said, "Well, was it as bad as you thought?" And I said, "Well, actually, it wasn't bad at all." And that's the story. And so, excuse me. So, so Horace was very pleased that he'd had this great connection, and so was Bob. Now, when Horace saw how tanned Bob was, he wasn't happy. So then he decided he was going on holiday. I think they might have went to the same place. I don't recall whether he told me.
I just don't think this is illustrating my point.
Well, I think it was a wonderful story, and it illustrates my point, which was the fear was nowhere near as bad as the reality. And I love
Yeah,
that story.
it's a very good story.
It was, wasn't it? I think I might have been spiritually inspired to tell that story.
Oh, yeah, and that's often the way, isn't it? But
What's
I
that?
think a lot of the time, if we know, if we or well, we don't always know, but if we believe that we have the capability to overcome whatever comes our way, then I think we're more likely to let go and trust into a different
Yeah.
experience.
So, joking aside, the next time that scenario happens, something similar, and they say, "You're going to have a new guide next time," I'm going to go, "Actually, yeah, it's okay. I'll make that connection. I'll do what I need to do, and it
Yeah.
will be okay. The reality will not
Mm.
be anywhere near as bad as what my brain
Yeah,
perceives is going to be."
yeah,
But on a serious note, I know we're talking about manifestation and the mindset. So I think from personal experience, so I've, dealt with these things and am still dealing with these things where we have a sense of what what is what is it possible for me to achieve in my life?
yeah,
And you say to me, Andy, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that these dreams, let's imagine I've written all my dreams out on a piece of paper, all my aspirations. And they don't have to be, very highbrow. It can be very simple. And you say on a scale of 1 to 10 in the moment before you think, how confident are you? Let's say I say 5. I think it's 50-50. It could go either way, and I wouldn't bet I wouldn't bet a week's wages on the outcome. And then you have to say, well, let's look at the reasons that you've knocked 5 points off,
yeah.
and why is it you feel uncertainty,
Mhm.
and why is it you feel that it may not be possible? And you say, well, there's an element of doubt about the uncertainty. There's an element of fear. Where does the fear come from? It comes from this, that, and the other, and we can go
Yes.
back in time. So if if I if I judge the experience in that moment, then I would say, well, it's 50-50. That's the truth of it. But if we say, well, let's address all of the things that you worry about, or all of the things that you are concerned about in relation to you achieving what you visualize for the future, then how do we address all those things? What is it that causes us to feel that way? And how can we put a positive force, which is our intention, our mind, and the energy that we project into something that is being created in that moment. So this is how I would see it. So if you said to me, do you see yourself being able to teach hundreds and hundreds of people about trance and about all sorts of other different subjects? I would say to you, hand on heart, absolutely I do. And I can feel a positive force moving in effect into the future. But if you said to me, do you see yourself let's think of something really random. Do you see yourself teaching it to university level to skeptics on a regular basis? And I would think, no, no, I don't. Although I might know what I'm talking about, I would then have a sense of apprehension about my ability to converse with people of that level and the the potential fallout and the potential failure if you're talking about people highly academic that might not be invested in what I love. So the scenario is the same in some ways. It's about teaching people something that I love. But the certainty of success, I feel if I was teaching people that are invested in it, is so much more likely in my mind that I would project positive, strong intent that that would happen. Whereas
Yeah.
if you said to me, do you want to place yourself at the scrutiny of people that are highly skeptical and academic? I would think, well, no, not really. So therefore, at best, that energy will be neutral. At worst, it will be positive, and I will feel a sense of dread at the thought of that. Does that kind of explain
Yeah. So,
anything in any way relevant?
yeah. Yeah. So, in a way, when we're looking at being courageous, stepping into, changes or creating change in our lives,
Yeah,
it's so really what you're saying is it's about envisaging it in a way that we perceive is attainable.
yeah, completely.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it's when you envisage it in a way that's attainable or in a way that's likable,
Yeah.
then you feel joy. And joy is
Yes.
such a high vibrational
Okay.
energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like the positive force, isn't it? So whenever we're, I don't know, creating a course or a retreat or, a lot of the time when we're doing that or
Yeah.
we're often in a place of joy, aren't we? And
That's a really good point that you've made. You're right. That is absolutely where we're at.
yeah.
And so if you say, I had an idea for a short course and it is da 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 da. What do you
Mm,
think? And I go, actually, that's a really good idea. So immediately you're into that sense of there is joy, there's positivity, there's a sense of I can already envisage this being created, happening, and myself
mm,
running it,
yeah.
or us running it.
And
And yeah, sorry.
yeah, so and then once you've got on that momentum,
Yeah.
it's noticing those things that start to creep in terms of doubt. Like you were saying about the new guide, Horace, it's because
Yes.
you that's the doubt because not everything can be certain. So at
Yeah.
that point,
Yeah.
and this is where what I realized a lot over the years, as I was, creating things and, being self-employed, what would happen was I would start the creative process. I'd be really joyful, I'd be really excited, and the momentum would get going. And then doubt would show up. And at that point, I quite often abandoned ship. And I would just like, I just stopped. I didn't finish
Really?
things.
Okay. Never knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it happened many times.
Wow.
And the way that I overcame that was
Yeah.
noticing what the doubt was. So well, it's always not knowing. It's the not
Yeah, sure.
having certainty. But what I would do, and I found the way to overcome it, was to look at, so I'd perhaps write down 3 doubts that could creep in.
Okay.
And then I would take myself back to a time when I overcame similar things.
For example, just so I can kind of visualize it, describe it.
So, for example, say that, I don't know, I have a doubt that, okay, so maybe my course is unusual. Maybe it's not something that other people,
Okay.
regularly talk about. Or so
Yeah.
then I'd get really excited because it's come from my heart and I'm really motivated. And then I get to the point where it's time to tell people about it. And I would think, oh no, this isn't very mainstream. Maybe the idea, the concept will be rejected.
Yeah.
So the way I overcame that was by looking in the past when I'd done something maybe similar, and how I overcame that. So at the university, when I wanted to create an MSc that wasn't already existing there,
Yeah.
well, what was one of the ways that I overcame the challenge of that being accepted? Well, it was getting like-minded people on board. And
Mhm.
getting the support and the sense of community and
Yeah.
things like that. So I think that's what's really important, because we get ignited with joy, we start following what we want, and then what can happen is the doubt creeps in. And so it's looking at the past when we've
Mm.
overcome something similar, because then you get back into that energy of courage, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And if you think about if the thought or the potential is held with a sense of that, call it joy and positivity, all right,
Mm,
then there's a sense of it almost already having a vibrancy and
mm,
like it's moving forward to this imaginary place in time.
yeah.
But if we now visualize something that we're very unsure of, it feels literally heavy.
Mm,
The thought feels heavy to me, not in an emotional sense, but in a potential sense. It just feels like it's very stuck, it's very stable, and
mm,
it's just like sat there, and it's not going in any direction. So I think it's a sense that there isn't this positive, um I don't want to say vibration because it's very like cliche. There's this positive force that's attached to something that we feel is going to be successful. We can see the potential. Um, Now, we know, I mean, I think it's important to say that the work that a medium does is very much based upon setting an intention to a consciousness that is not physical.
mm,
Okay. So, your loved one, a spirit guide, healing force, that is all done through the power of intention.
mhm.
So, we could say that other people from other disciplines may say intention is like manifestation, all right, because they say, I am going to manifest success that looks like this. Okay. And I may say, I am going to set an intention to do healing for this person, just like yourself and me did with my dad. And we have spoken before about the results. Now, we could say, did we manifest or literally demanifest, I don't even know if that's a word, his bladder stone? What happened? Did we use the power of intention and this positive thought and this loving essence? Did we do that to create something that was beyond what is accepted as being possible? And so therefore, if we set a powerful positive thought about something that is going to happen in the future, are we sending energy into the universe as some sort of mystical like machine that is building something? You know,
Yeah.
is it like parts of the future are just sitting somewhere in like the ether? And what we're doing is we're sending these thoughts and this force to these parts of the future, and that brings them all together. And then
Absolutely.
eventually we reach that point in the future. It's
Mm.
then called the present, and we can say, I manifested that, or
Yeah.
I used my intention to bring this into being or bring it into creation.
And
So,
that's why overcoming those fears and doubts is so important, because
yeah.
it's going to distract the force from pulling, what we want towards ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of in your experience, Liz, you've obviously spent many years speaking to people that may have been in states whereby they were very much disabled to do that, or felt disabled to be able to do that. How do you change that thinking?
Well, I think first of all, it is about being very clear on what the vision looks like, and
Okay.
y- you know what what the feeling is, because it's the feeling that draws things towards us rather
Okay.
than anything else.
Yeah.
So if the feeling is joy and excitement, that's going to attract similar, isn't it?
Okay. But you said earlier you had the joy and excitement about projects, and then you abandoned ship.
Yeah. So when the doubt creeps in, it's about putting things in place to overcome that, and thinking outside the box as well. Because for me, what I realized was it was a sense of community and support that would get me to
Yeah.
see things through more than anything else. So it's finding what is it that overcomes
Hmm.
that feeling of doubt.
Yeah. And it was what was it? What was that thing?
Feeling the support of other people, knowing that actually they believed in what I was doing and that they were happy to, support me in it, and, teach alongside on some of the sessions and things like that. And that then just it reduced the doubt so much I could stay in that place of joy. And I think that's
Hmm.
what we need to quite often do, is find ways to stay in the
Yeah.
place of joy when we're wanting to draw things, opportunities, friendships,
Yeah.
life changes towards us. We
Okay.
need to stay in the place of what will attract that
Hmm.
energetically.
And so, do you think the shared energy that you start to not give to other people, but that you start to create in the presence of other people, does that become like a not self fulfilling, but does it become like a snowball rolling down a
Mm.
mountain that eventually becomes a real force of nature?
Yeah.
So, is it that they become invested in the energy or the potential of what you believe in? Or is it just the existence of positive energy, or, like an affirmation?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's a mixture of things. Maybe it's
Hmm.
that the energy is influential, but maybe
Yeah.
it's also that it's, you know, attractive to their mindset as well. So
Yeah.
maybe it's both.
Yeah. I just kind of, thought about it because, when someone, if someone comes along and they go, "Oh, Andy, I really love the sound of your course. I'd love to join you," then that kind of gives you a little boost, doesn't it? It gives you an
Yeah.
energetic boost, and you go, "Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm really pleased about that." They come along, they see your enthusiasm, that motivates them. They become more motivated, which motivates me. And it's like they're
Mm,
building me up, I'm building them up, and it
mm.
becomes more and more and more. And then someone else comes in and goes, "Why are you guys so excited? What are you so excited about?" And we go, "Oh, well, we're doing this." And then they go, "Ah, that sounds really good. You're really excited."
Yeah.
And then it just becomes this
Mm.
this thing, this living creation of
Absolutely. And
mm,
that that is such a good point, because quite often
yeah,
when we are when we talk about, envisaging something before it manifests, I've
Yeah.
said it now, but when we're talking about
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
one of the key things, is to start to regularly think about it with that feeling. And so if there's more of you involved, it grows, doesn't it? And it takes on an energy of its own, like you say. It
There's
becomes an energy.
Well, there's it. There's a two-word. I think is like a two-word description of something like that. So it reaches like a critical mass. That's it.
Yeah.
It reaches a critical mass, and where it almost becomes like now we are beyond the point of being able to reverse it. It now takes on its own essence, its
Yes.
own potential.
Yeah.
Um, so we're kind of sort of looking at are we looking at the future as something that we could say is really unlimited possibilities? Is that fact or fiction? Is the
I
future unlimited
Yes.
possibilities?
Yes.
And you've
Definitely.
learnt that from your own experience, or is it just a philosophical point of view?
From my own experiences of trial and error. And also,
Okay,
I think I learned the hard way.
how's that?
So, of being, I suppose, in a way, trapped in many situations throughout my life.
Yeah,
And um, it was through those experiences of feeling stuck and stuck in the same energy all the time.
yeah,
And it was when I would luckily make some radical decision and I would just almost like find an exit point. And it was I don't know, like the surge of energy would come in, I'd find an exit point, and then that gained a momentum. And I started to think, wow. So, okay, I've been stuck in this very uncomfortable place for 5 years,
yeah,
same old, same old, same old.
mm.
But something, and I don't really know what it was, but something would say, "Right, enough. Well a do." There would be some sort of moment,
Yeah, like a
and it would be like,
catalyst.
yeah. And
Okay,
so it would be enough.
yeah,
And so that was enough to change the perspective, the energy. And it was then as that exit was made or that decision was made
yeah,
and the energy quickly gained momentum, things could change for me so fast.
yeah,
So I could go from being stuck in something for 5 years in the same old, same old. I'd make a decision and I would become really like joyful about it. And suddenly everything like a domino effect started to change. And I think that's when I started to really become fascinated by, this idea that to a degree we are creators of what we experience, and we do have a say
yeah.
in, how things unfold
Mm.
to a degree.
I think maybe, and we could also use the analogy of like attracting like, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think there probably is something to it. I know on a much lesser scale, I've said something like, I'm driving along and I say to the spirit world when we have these moments of kind of like, oh, I don't know about this, this is not for me. This isn't for me. And I say, look, spirit, if I'm meant to do this, um, show me a sign, let me hear from someone that wants, a service
Mm.
that I offer. And lo and behold, like that day or the next day, there'll be an email.
Mm.
And that might have been days or even weeks since the last one. All right,
Mm.
okay, that's good. Do it again. Lo and behold, that day or the next day, there'll be another email. I'd like a reading or something. I remember one time I was driving home from work and I said, Spirit, if I'm meant to do this work, again, one of these moments of doubt, give me a sign. And down the slip road drove this articulated lorry. On the side of this lorry, and I kid you not, it had the word, because I do trance mediumship, it had the word clear channel.
Nice.
I looked at that and I was like, I mean, if I was allowed to take a photo, I would have. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Because what they will often say is, oh, to get the best connection to spirit, we need to become a clear channel. I looked at that and I think I've seen the lorry or a lorry similar once in like the last 10 years. At that exact point on that journey going home, in response almost to my request, I saw
Yeah.
that lorry
And
and emblazoned on the side, clear channel.
that is beautiful, and again,
Yeah.
it's a really I having that connection to
Mm.
our spirit friends and asking
Yeah.
for that as well is gonna help with that any seeds of doubt, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, of course, you know, pure coincidence, but it just seems ironic
No.
that the answer to the question seemed to be so similar to what I needed to
Mm.
hear. It was quite amazing. Okay, so final thoughts, Liz, on not manifestation, creating the future that you want to see,
Yeah.
unlimited possibilities. What are your final thoughts for the viewers or the listeners?
I think become clear on what it is you do want
Okay,
without restricting yourself as well.
yeah,
Um, and feel how it would feel once that is already a part of your life,
okay,
which is going to be joy, isn't it?
yeah,
Because then you're matching
that
what you
vibration.
want. Yeah, you're matching, like you were saying, pulling through that force towards you. So begin to match the feeling of how it will feel
Yeah,
when it's in your life. And I think as the doubts creep in, work through each one systematically and bring in what you need to ease that doubt.
I think that's perfect. I think that's a great place to stop. Thank
Mm.
you
Thank
so much
you.
for sharing your wisdom, Liz,
And you.
as ever. Yes, and if you want to have more stories from Horace, you'll have to let me know. Right. Thank you so much for listening, guys. See you later.
Bye.